Hey, welcome back to Hawk in the Lens. My name is Hawken, your virtual birding guide, and this is the first episode of a brand new series where I cover some of the best birding hotspots. Each episode, we're going to dive into a hotspot, sharing all the details you need to know, from facilities and information to the species you can expect to see and everything in between. Today, we're talking Lee Cay Ponds, one of my favorite hotspots near Salt Lake City, Utah. Hey everyone, editing Hawken jumping in right here. I'm literally editing the video you're watching right now. This is my monitor right here that you can probably see in the frame. It's a little messy, but I just needed to hop on quick to explain to you that throughout this video, I'm gonna refer to Lee Cay Ponds as a conservation area. That is no longer the case. Since I filmed this video months ago, some things have changed. It is now a WMA, or waterfowl management area. I think it's waterfowl, not wildlife, I'm pretty sure. But those have new distinctions that are important. One of the biggest being access to the WMA, which I will explain a little bit later when I hop back in. But again, I'm gonna be referring to Lee Cay Ponds as a conservation area because that's what it was at the time of when I filmed the video. It is no longer that anymore. It is now a WMA. So yeah, back to me from a while ago. So Lee Cay Ponds is a 934-acre conservation area that has both small ponds, large ponds, mud flats, and fields within the habitat. You can find a variety of species here. I've gotten some pretty high counts whenever I've visited the area. So to help orient you, Lee Cay Ponds is located west of downtown Salt Lake City. The road along the south is 2100 south, and the road along the north of the area is 1300 south. The Salt Lake City Airport is also only about 10 minutes north of here. To the west and to the north, there's also a dump too, which can at times make it a little smelly, of course. It's not really bad in the area I'm at right now, but when we were closer to that, you could definitely smell it. On the bright side, the dump brings in a variety of species, like tons of gulls. There was lots of starlings and blackbirds and stuff flying over the dump when we were just over there before. Now, just so you know, the southeast corner of the area is restricted. I've never had any problem because there's no roads or anything that go back there, but if you were to walk and venture up that way, there's a live shooting range back there. The Lee Cay Ponds Public Shooting Range owns this whole conservation area and manages it, so definitely don't go to that southeast area. There is also a fish hatchery too that is off limits, so just leave that area be. It's kind of funny, I have seen a great blue heron and some goldeneye in that hatchery before. I don't know how they got in, but yeah, that hatchery is also off limits, but you are able to go along any of these roads out here. Lee Cay Ponds is a very popular spot for bird watching, just exercise in general, and then dog training. You will find a lot of hunters and stuff here training their hunting dogs. This area is open 365 days a year from dawn until dusk. All right, gonna cover quick the facilities and amenities in the area. In short, there is not very many. There's no bathrooms, not really any buildings on site. The only structures are an observation tower behind me that you used to be able to drive up to, though they had to shut it down unfortunately due to vandalism, which is a huge bummer. It might reopen someday, but for the time being, this gravel road we're on right now, you can't drive on anymore, sadly. And then the other structure is a heron rookery, which is pretty cool. You can often see great blue heron up on the top of that, and we just saw a bald eagle perching on it today too. One very large thing to note is that this conservation area is completely fenced off. You can still get into the conservation area on the south end though, if you pay for access. Okay, like I hinted at earlier in the video, I'm talking about access right now, and I have to jump in and explain how you access Lee Cay Ponds because it has changed. The spot in the road where you can get into the area is still the same, and I'll show that to you in a second. However, you no longer have to pay $10 to the Lee Cay Public Shooting Range. You just need to carry a valid fishing or hunting license in the state of Utah to be able to go here. This was a change for all waterfowl management areas, at least around the area here. I know Farmington Bay WMA is like this, just like Lee Cay Ponds WMA also has the same access now. So all you have to do now is go to their website, fill out a form with the expiration date of your fishing or hunting license, and you should be able to access the lock they have on the south road that I'm about to show you right now. All right, now I'm just on the southern end of the conservation area, just off of 2100 South, and this is the gate you can get through if you pay for access. So once you pay your $10 fee and they set up an account for you, you get a free app on your phone called Master Lock Vault, because this is an electronic master lock. So I will just press the button to turn the lock on, then it pops up on my phone as available. I can hit unlock, and then I can pull the lock off and open the gate, and we can drive right in. Always make sure, of course, to close the gate behind you, and you're all set to go bird this really awesome area. And then as for parking, this road's not very busy and it's fairly wide, so you can park along the outside of Lee Cay Ponds area. Just pull over off the side of the road and look on into the conservation area, or you can park on this paved road area just by the gate. There's not a ton of space here, probably only a few cars can fit at this spot. If you do pay for access to drive the roads on the inside of the conservation area, you of course can just pull off to the sides of the gravel road at any point. Let's get to the fun part, the species you can expect to find here. Now, Lee Cay Ponds is such a great birding hotspot because there is a wide variety of species. During migration and through the summer and fall months, you can get lots of shorebirds. There's also plenty of dabbling ducks and other waterfowl here too. A lot of egrets and herons. In fact, I think every single time I've come here, I've seen a great blue heron. There's usually at least around like 4 or 5 of them. And then probably one of the biggest draws, I would say, now that I've become more experienced with birding, is the gulls. In winter, lots of people come here to go gulling and pick through these big flocks of gulls that come over from the Great Salt Lake and the dump area into Lee Cay Ponds, trying to find some rarities. I just got my lifer black-headed gull, which is a European gull. That video will be in the description too if you want to check that out. One time when I came gulling here. So pretty awesome hotspot to find a huge variety of species. If you are really lucky, you can find short-eared owls here occasionally, and then there are burrowing owls that actually nest here. Now, I won't call out their locations for obvious reasons, but if you have a very watchful eye, you might notice some burrowing owls in the area, and if you're here at dusk, you might even see them flying around and starting to hunt. And I'll give you 3 of my favorite birds I've seen at this location. I love seeing hooded merganser. Those are pretty cool when they show up here in the winter. They're usually at the northern ponds, which is pretty sweet. I also love, of course, burrowing owls. That's one of everyone's favorite species to see, so I'll put that on the list too. And then loggerhead shrike. This is a pretty reliable location where you can pretty often find a few loggerhead shrike. Those are some of my favorites. I'm curious if you've been here before. What are your favorites too? Now, just a couple of quick tips to find some species around here. Of course, if you can pay for the access and drive the area, you'll be able to see a lot more habitat, and you'll see a ton of the different ponds where these waterfowl and species hide at. Of course though, drive slowly. If you drive too fast, you're gonna kick up a lot of dust with your vehicle. You'll spook a lot of the birds around the area too, and you won't even get a good chance to get a look at them. Another quick tip is to check the telephone poles. Don't neglect the north road on the northern end of the conservation area. Definitely drive that whole thing, because you'll see some spots that you can't actually see from the inside of the roads here. And then another tip is there's a pond just to the south of the conservation area too, which has a bunch of tires in it for whatever reason. I guess some tires are just dumped there, unfortunately, but you can usually see a ton of ibis and some other species there. Getting distracted by birds flying behind me. All right, let's talk birding experience. I'll do my best to kind of paint a picture for what a typical birding day looks like here at Lee Cay Ponds. Now, like I've mentioned many times already, most people are driving these gravel roads as they are looking for birds, driving very slowly, stopping, getting out of their car to film, photograph, or pull their scope out to look at a flock of birds. You obviously only really need binoculars, but I would highly recommend a scope, especially if you are looking through shorebirds or gulls, as those are notoriously hard species to identify, and they do come here in pretty large numbers, so you'll have a good chance to find some awesome species. Because this is all gravel and dirt roads, I'd recommend a good pair of hiking shoes. You don't want to dress nice when you're out here, that's for sure. Normal attire is fine, but having something you don't mind getting a little dirty is a good idea. Few statistics for you. The average person, according to some eBird checklists I analyze, spends between 22 minutes and 144 minutes birding here. I know that's a wide range, but that just shows some people might stop in very quickly and other people might spend upwards of just over 2 hours while they're birding here. I'd say I probably usually fall within the hour-and-a-half range, maybe even higher than that, especially because I'm filming a lot of bird species that I come across. And then distance covered, people are usually between 0.67 and 5.06 miles when they are out birding here. That's the area they cover. I would imagine the people on the lower end of that are just doing a checklist from the northern end and they might not have access to drive around. And the people that do have access are going to be at that higher end, closer to the 5 miles. As for the number of species you might expect to see, the average person sees between 11 and 36 species when they come out and bird here. So you can get a pretty good variety, which is sweet. And then the seasons that you might want to come birding at Lee Cay Ponds, I honestly would say there's no real best season. If you come in the winter time, you have some awesome waterfowl and a good chance to see some rare gulls. If you come in spring, it's obviously the heat of migration. You can find some really great species here too. And then summer, there are some species that stick around through summer. That might be maybe a lower favorite for some people, but there is always some good chances to see some great birds. When it was summertime, that's when I saw my short-eared owl. And fall's just as good too. You have migration coming back the other way this time. So I would bird here at any time of the year, basically. All right, and that's about all the information I have to share on Lee Cay Ponds. If I missed anything, please leave them in the comments. I, of course, want to make these guides as comprehensive as possible, but there's always a chance I forget something, or maybe I don't even know something and you have an awesome secret to share. I hope this hotspot guide was really helpful for you. I'm planning to make some more, especially around this Salt Lake area because this is where I'm based. So if there's a location you want to see, let me know. But thank you for watching. I will see you in the next one. Happy birding. Now I'm forgetting everything I was gonna say. Stop. Okay. I don't even remember. Okay, you can stop it.